Welcome to MindSpark, where we dig into the real stories behind the headlines. Ford, Harley-Davidson, GE, icons of American industry, are moving production overseas. These brands aren't just companies, they're part of our national identity. But a policy meant to protect them, tariffs, sparked a chain reaction. Steel and aluminum prices soared, squeezing the very companies the tariffs aimed to help. Tonight, we'll pull back the curtain on 6 legendary American companies forced into tough choices. Did the cure end up worse than the disease? Let's get to the facts. Let's start with Ford, a name that built the American middle class. Ford's assembly line was once a symbol of prosperity and innovation, but tariffs on steel and aluminum cost Ford $1 billion in profit, a direct hit from its own government. Suddenly, the cost of building cars in America skyrocketed. Ford had to make a choice: absorb the costs, raise prices, or cut back. The result? The Ford Focus Active, designed for American families, was canceled. This wasn't just about one car, it set a chilling precedent. A policy meant to protect American manufacturing led to less manufacturing and fewer choices for consumers. Jobs that would have been created simply vanished. Ford's workforce felt the anxiety ripple through the company. To stay competitive, Ford began looking overseas for efficiencies. The tariffs, meant to bring jobs home, actually incentivized moving them away. The narrative was that tariffs would punish foreign competitors. Instead, Ford, a champion of American industry, was penalized. The logic of global economics, supercharged by protectionism, pushed them further from home. For workers, it felt like betrayal. Their future eroded by a policy meant to protect it. They played by the rules, worked hard, and believed in a manufacturing revival. Now, they watched as their company was forced to look abroad, not for cheap labor but to escape high material costs. The foundation of their livelihood was shaken by the very shield meant to defend it. If Ford is the heart of American industry, Harley-Davidson is its soul. The roar of a Harley is the sound of freedom and rebellion, quintessentially American. So when Harley-Davidson announced it would move some production overseas to avoid retaliatory tariffs, the backlash was fierce. President Trump, once a supporter, called for a boycott. Here's what happened. U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum led the EU to slap tariffs on American motorcycles. Suddenly, Harleys in Europe were far more expensive than local competitors. Harley faced a brutal choice: absorb the cost, pass it to customers, or move production. They chose to build bikes for Europe and Thailand, avoiding tariffs. The headline screamed, "American icon abandons America." But Harley was a victim of its own global success. Decades of building markets abroad made them vulnerable to trade disputes. The very policies meant to protect American companies made Harley a target. The decision split the Harley community. Some understood, others felt betrayed. The company was forced to choose between survival and patriotism. This is the reality of global capitalism. A tariff isn't a surgical strike. It's a boulder in a pond, and the ripples are unpredictable. For Harley, the ripple became a wave, forcing them to steer for foreign shores just to stay afloat. Even the most American of brands couldn't escape the consequences. The soul of American industry was forced to find a new home. General Electric, once the bedrock of American industry, was already struggling when tariffs hit. GE makes jet engines and turbines from specialty steel and metals. Tariffs sent those costs soaring, adding $1 billion burden. Unlike car makers, GE couldn't just raise prices. Its contracts are long-term and fiercely competitive. The result? GE became less competitive overnight. The promise was to bring jobs back, but the effect was the opposite. Rising costs forced GE to cut jobs and look abroad for cheaper production. In Wisconsin, GE moved production from a historic plant to Canada. The reason? Rising costs and lost export financing, both casualties of the political climate. The rhetoric was about reviving American manufacturing, but the reality was jobs leaving, not returning. For GE, the tariffs were an unneeded, self-inflicted wound. Instead of protection, they got uncertainty and higher costs. The giant stumbled, weighed down by policies meant to help. The manufacturing renaissance looked more like a mirage, communities lost jobs, and the heartland felt the pain. GE's struggle is a warning: protectionism can backfire even for the biggest players. The cost wasn't just financial, it was a blow to American industrial pride. The old giant stumbled, and the world kept moving. Think of big American iron, and you think of Caterpillar. Their yellow machines build the world, but they're built from steel. When tariffs hit, Caterpillar faced a $100 200 million increase in costs. Their global competitors like Komatsu and Volvo didn't pay that premium. The administration argued tariffs would boost American steel, but Caterpillar's supply chain is global and complex. You can't just switch suppliers overnight. Faced with higher costs, Caterpillar had to adapt, raise prices, or shift production. They raised prices for American customers, making construction more expensive at home. Strategically, they accelerated building machines for Asia in Asia, and for Europe in Europe. Why build in Illinois with expensive steel, only to ship to Germany and face more tariffs? The policy meant to protect American workers made the US a more expensive place to manufacture. Caterpillar didn't want to move production, but the rules forced their hand. The cost of protectionism was passed down the line, paid by American businesses and taxpayers. Instead of digging out of foreign competition, Caterpillar found itself in a deeper hole. Whirlpool's story is a cautionary tale. They lobbied for tariffs on imported washing machines, hoping to protect American jobs. At first it worked. Whirlpool added 200 jobs in Ohio. But then, steel and aluminum tariffs hit, raising their own costs. The benefit of protection was wiped out by higher material prices. Whirlpool had to raise appliance prices by 10–15%. American families paid more, no matter the brand. A University of Chicago study found tariffs cost consumers $1.5 billion a year on laundry appliances alone. Each new job created cost over $800,000. The policy meant to help Whirlpool ended up hurting consumers and the company itself. Protectionism's simplicity is seductive, but the economy is an interconnected web. Helping one industry can send shockwaves through the rest. Whirlpool wanted a shield, but got a cage match with rising costs. The American consumer paid the price. The lesson: unintended consequences can outweigh the intended benefits. Tesla isn't an icon of the past, it's the face of America's technological future. But the trade war with China put Tesla in a bind. China is the world's largest EV market and a key part of Tesla's supply chain. US tariffs led China to impose a 25% tariff on American-made cars. Suddenly Teslas built in California were too expensive in China. Elon Musk had a choice: abandon China, lose sales, or build a factory there. The business case was clear. Tesla built its Shanghai Gigafactory in record time. Now, Tesla produces cars in China for China and the world. The policy meant to protect American jobs led Tesla to create thousands of high-tech jobs in Shanghai instead. The US lost out on investment, jobs, and technological leadership. Capital and technology are mobile. Make it too hard to operate here, and companies will go elsewhere. The trade war built an exit ramp, not a wall. Tesla's story shows the flaw in protectionism. It can push the future overseas. The Shanghai Gigafactory is a win for Tesla, but a missed opportunity for America. We tried to protect the past and exported the future. We've seen how tariffs meant to protect American jobs often did the opposite. Ford, Harley, GE, Caterpillar, Whirlpool, Tesla, all forced into tough choices by policies designed to help them. The price of protectionism isn't just dollars, it's lost opportunities, jobs, and innovation. The goal of a strong American economy is universal, but the path requires understanding how the world works now. These policies cost American workers and consumers most of all. We have to learn from this and do better. Let's get after it. Pause 2S. As the dust settles from the storm of protectionism, the American spirit of resilience begins to shine through. History shows that when faced with adversity, we innovate, turning challenges into opportunities. In cities across the nation, from Silicon Valley to Detroit, a new wave of startups and tech giants are rising, fueled by a desire to reclaim the mantle of innovation. Pause 2S. These pioneers are embracing global collaboration, leveraging international talent, and integrating advanced technologies. They're redefining industries, creating jobs, and building products that not only compete but lead on the world stage. The lesson learned is clear: embracing global connectivity rather than retreating from it is the key to a prosperous future. Pause 2S. It's a delicate dance, balancing protection with progress, but the American economy is poised for a renaissance. The innovators of today are the architects of tomorrow, forging a path where the cost of protectionism is outweighed by the benefits of collaboration and creativity. Pause 3S. Join us as we witness the rebirth of American ingenuity, where the lessons of the past fuel the promise of a brighter, more interconnected future. The phoenix of innovation is rising, and with it the hope of a new era in American industry. Pause 2S. The journey continues. Let's innovate together. Pause 2S. But as American companies spread their wings and relocate operations across borders, the world takes notice. The global reaction is far from uniform. In some countries, the arrival of U.S. businesses sparks celebration. New jobs, new skills, and fresh investment flow into local economies, transforming entire communities seemingly overnight. Pause 1S. Yet for others, the influx brings unease. Local industries can find themselves outmatched, wages suppressed, and traditional ways of life disrupted. Governments scramble to adapt, adjusting policies and incentives to either attract or protect against the tide of American enterprise. Pause 2S. Allies sometimes see opportunity for deeper collaboration, inviting joint ventures and knowledge exchange. Rivals, meanwhile, may harden their own trade barriers, wary of growing American influence and the shifting balance of economic power. Pause 1S. The global chessboard becomes more complex. Each move by a U.S. company prompts counter-moves, some seeking to emulate, others to compete. The world is learning, adapting, and innovating in response. Pause 2S. In this interconnected era, the ripple effects of American industry are felt in every corner of the globe, shaping not just economies but the very fabric of international relationships. The story of American innovation is no longer just America's to tell. It's a global narrative, one that is still unfolding, and one in which every nation now plays a part. Pause 2S. As we stand at the crossroads of history, the lessons from the past echo loudly, urging us to reflect and adapt. The American journey of industrial evolution and global expansion offers invaluable insights into the dynamics of economic growth, innovation, and the ever-evolving landscape of global trade. Pause 1S. One crucial lesson is the importance of resilience and adaptability. In a world where technological advancements and market demands shift rapidly, the ability to pivot and embrace change becomes a cornerstone of success. Pause 1S. We also learn that globalization is a double-edged sword. While it brings unparalleled opportunities for collaboration and growth, it also demands a nuanced understanding of cultural sensitivities and economic disparities. Pause 2S. Looking forward, the future beckons with possibilities. An era of sustainable innovation is on the horizon, where industries must balance profit with responsibility, ensuring that progress does not come at the expense of our planet or societies. Pause 1S. The pioneers of tomorrow will be those who foster inclusivity, harness technology to bridge gaps, and cultivate a global community that thrives on mutual respect and shared goals. Pause 2S. As the narrative of American industry continues to unfold, it serves as a reminder that the story of progress is not written by any single nation but by a collective striving for a better tomorrow. Pause 1S. The world watches, learns, and contributes, weaving a tapestry of innovation that promises to shape a future where every voice can be heard and every dream has the potential to be realized. Pause 2S. This is our shared journey, and the next chapter is ours to write.